Good morning, friends. Prepared Suburbanite back at you. Um, just a quick little update video. We're in early spring, but I can sense that we're transitioning from early spring to late spring because the azalea flowers are starting to wilt and fall. The lilac flowers are starting to shed a little bit, even though I still get that wonderful aroma from those uh, beautiful flowers. Anyway, so that's kind of where we are here. We've done a little bit of early vegetable planting so far, and this weekend we're going to be doing just a little bit more, putting in some onions and things like that. Still way too early for tomatoes and peppers, but that's what we're going to be doing. But what I'd like to talk about today, and we've been through this kind of before with um, certain issues, certain preps that the prepper community has to take into consideration, and that's going to be comfort and convenience items. So stick around. Just one of those casual phrases that you say during a conversation around the dinner table, and it's like, what are we going to do if we don't have any paper plates? We just had a real quick dinner last night. Instead of getting out the regular dinnerware, we just grabbed a couple of paper plates, threw the food on there, and I thought, what are we going to do? And that I consider a, uh, a convenience item. Any of those kind of paper products, paper plates, um, paper towels, uh, facial tissues like Kleenex, that kind of stuff, um, and even toilet paper. What are we going to do when the S hits the fan if we don't have those convenience items available to us? And what can we do today to make sure that we're prepared for when the day comes? We're going to need to have plates to eat from, that we're going to have some sort of device or rags or something to clean up messes and spills and all that. And what are you going to blow your nose on? So we've grown so accustomed to convenience items, those paper kinds of things um, that we have amassed, I think. And I can only remember just a couple of years ago that toilet paper was, people were fighting in the aisleways in the supermarkets to get their share of toilet paper for the future. And it's kind of too bad that that's the way it is. But what alternatives are there really? Well, there are a number of alternatives, and I think we should be planning for those kinds of things. For paper plates, yeah, you don't have to wash them; you just throw them away. But if they're soaked with food, they don't make very good fire starters or anything like that. So what are you going to do without paper plates? Well, we're probably going to just have to go back to regular dinnerware, and we're going to have to wash it. But when we do that, we're going to be using an extra amount of water. So we've got to take that into consideration. So make sure you've got a plan for your water usage. I've heard that a gallon of water per person per day. I think that misses the mark entirely. I'm thinking that you're going to need anywhere from 4 to 5 gallons per person per day for cooking, for hygiene, for flushing toilets, all that kind of stuff. So keep that in mind when we have to move away from paper plates and start using regular dinnerware for every single meal. Paper towels, well, that one's pretty easy. I find that paper towels are just very convenient to use around the house. You spill some stuff, you just wipe it up with a paper towel, you wad it up, throw it away, there you go. But you can certainly use sponges, you can certainly use old towels and rags and things like that in order to do that, but you've got to wash them, you got to keep them clean, you got to keep them moisturized and sanitized and things like that so that you can effectively use them on surfaces that you use to prepare your food, things like that. So, but that's certainly an alternative to be shooting for paper towels. Kleenex, the facial tissues, all that for blowing your nose. You got to be using handkerchiefs for that. And again, you've got to wash those handkerchiefs. You can't just throw them away. So you've got to wash them, and that gets back to having the water that you need to keep your handkerchiefs and scarves and whatever else you're going to wipe your nose on to keep them clean. And as we were talking about this around the dinner table, we simply got, hold on. We simply got into other topics, things that we find that are very convenient to have around, things like beef broth and chicken broth and stuff like that. We like putting a lot of leftovers together and putting them in a big pot and making some soup out of it. And it's very convenient to just reach in the cupboard and grab all the store-bought chicken broth or beef broth to use as a base for the soup. Well, you're going to have to learn once the S hits the fan, and you can't get beef broth and chicken broth at the supermarkets, that you're going to have to know how to use it and make it yourself, can it up, and it's not all that difficult. It's just a matter, if you're cooking chicken, you skim off some of the broth and you put it in a jar and go through the canning process for specifically the beef broth and chicken broth. I would suggest that you've got quite a stockpile of that if you use the convenience items of the little boxed containers of chicken broth and beef broth. Bottled water, those little 16.9 ounce bottles that you get in a big tray from 24 or 36 bottles in a tray from the local supermarket or wholesale club. That's a convenience item, because you can certainly deal with having water from different sources. You can filter and cleanse rainwater. If you've got rainwater catchment, if you're hooked up to your own well and you've got power to pull the pump, then you've got water. But those little 16-ounce bottles of water, they're a convenience item, and we're going to have to learn how to get along without that kind of a convenience items. Snacks. I enjoy a snack from time to time, dry roasted peanuts or crackers or cheese and crackers, those kinds of things. And how many of us are really planning to have that kind of stuff available that we know we're not going to be able to get from the supermarkets after the S hits the fan? So let's stock up on that kind of convenience, comfort kind of items that we think we're going to need in the future. Stuff to keep you busy. Once the power goes out, the grid goes down, we don't have power, all that, we're going to need stuff to keep us busy. And yeah, we can be working in the garden, we can be splitting firewood, we can be doing all that kind of stuff. But there comes a time when, excuse me, when we have to just kind of kick back and relax. So if you like board games, if you like playing cards, make sure you've got that kind of equipment. Scrabble, Monopoly, chutes and ladders for the kids, a couple of decks of play-in cards so that you can play hearts or spades or poker or whatever you want to play. I think it's a great idea to make sure that we're stocked up on that kind of stuff that I think we're going to need. And the other last topic here, I think, what I'm going to call indulgences. And that's things that you enjoy in your relaxed period. I don't know if you drink beer, but I'm a big fan of beer. I enjoy the different kinds of beer. In fact, I have at least a couple of beers pretty much every day. I enjoy a good scotch from time to time. Generally save that for maybe a dram or two on the weekends. And, those are the kinds of things that you can draw some comfort out of if you are stuck in a grid down SHTF kind of a situation. So if you have certain indulgences, if you smoke cigarettes, smoke cigars, if you vape, you might want to make sure that you've got enough stockpile of that to get you through for a few weeks during the SHTF. Just some rambling thoughts from me. If you found anything in this video helpful or encouraging, or it sparks conversation, please leave me a comment and give us a thumbs up. Share this video where you can, and remember to check your subscription and make sure you're still subscribed. Not sure what's going on with YouTube on that, but the number of subscribers is very fluid. We'll just put it that way. So double check your subscription. Make sure you're subscribed. If you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. And remember that this is the Prepared Suburbanite reminding you to be prepared always. And I'll see you all on the next video.